You're just a walking wallet. My stepdaughter screamed at me after I said no to buying her a brand new luxury car. But what shocked me even more, my fiancée actually laughed and said, "Well, she's got a point." I stood there in complete disbelief. These two had been living in my house, spending my money, using credit cards I gave them with no limits. So I walked to my office, grabbed my phone, and did something they never saw coming. 3 minutes later, I came back and said just 4 words, "The wallet is closed." And then, their entire world started falling apart right in front of my eyes. Before we get into this absolutely insane story, if you love hearing about entitled people getting a reality check, hit that subscribe button right now for Reddit family stories. Trust me, you won't believe what happened next. Let's get into it. My name's David, I'm 46, and I should have seen this disaster coming from a mile away. But when you're in the middle of it, you make excuses, you rationalize, you tell yourself you're just being helpful. I met Rebecca when I was 42. She was 37, gorgeous, recently divorced, and struggling to make ends meet. Her daughter Madison was 18 at the time, just starting community college. They seemed nice, normal. Rebecca said all the right things about wanting a partnership, about building something real together. We moved fast, I'll admit that. Within a year, I'd bought a house. A beautiful 4-bedroom in the suburbs with a yard and everything. My financial advisor told me to keep it in my name only since it was a second marriage for both of us. Smart man. Rebecca worked part-time doing admin stuff, maybe pulling in $800 a month. Madison was supposedly a full-time student. I wanted to be the good guy, the supportive partner, the stepfather figure Madison never really had. So I made what I now realize was a massive mistake. I gave them both credit cards, supplementary cards on my accounts, no limits, no questions asked. I covered the mortgage, every utility bill, groceries, insurance, you name it. I paid Madison's tuition and books, and on top of all that, I gave Rebecca $1,500 a month as an allowance. Madison got $800, for what you ask, expenses. Whatever they needed. Rebecca's friends would tell her how lucky she was, and she'd smile and agree, but looking back, that smile never quite reached her eyes. My mom would visit and make comments. "She doesn't seem very grateful, David." I'd brush it off. Mom was just being protective. Madison was polite enough at first. She'd say thank you when I bought dinner. She'd ask about my day. Normal step-family stuff. Last year I even bought her a car, a 2019 Honda Civic with only 30,000 miles on it. Practically brand new. She seemed happy at the time. But over the months something shifted. Little comments here and there. Rebecca would joke about me being Mr. Moneybags. Madison started calling me by my first name instead of anything more familiar. The gratitude faded. The politeness became automatic. And I just kept paying for everything. Last Saturday started like any other weekend. Rebecca and I were watching in the living room. Just relaxing, you know. Then Madison came home from hanging out with her friends. She didn't knock, didn't say hello, just burst into the room and announced, "I need a car." Not, "Can we talk about something?" Not, "Hey, do you have a minute?" Just a flat demand. I paused the movie. "What happened to the Honda?" "It's embarrassing," she said, rolling her eyes like I'd asked the dumbest question in the world. "Everyone else has new cars. I need something decent." I sat up straighter. "Madison, the Honda is decent. It's barely 3 years old. It runs perfectly. It's a Civic," she said, practically spitting the word. "Do you know how humiliating it is pulling up next to my friends in their Mercedes and Audis? I look like I'm broke." That's when Rebecca decided to chime in. She put her hand on my arm and said, "Honey, she has a point. She's at that age where image matters." I looked at my fiancée, the woman I was supposed to marry in 8 months. She's 22. Image matters less than financial responsibility. Madison's face went bright red. "Oh my God, why are you always like this? I ask for one thing. You ask for things constantly," I said, keeping my voice level. "And I provide. I'm just not buying you a brand new luxury car when you have a perfectly good vehicle." That's when it happened. She screamed at the top of her lungs, "You're just a walking wallet." The room went completely silent. I went very still. I could hear the movie we'd paused playing, a quiet soundtrack in the background. My heart was pounding in my ears. And then Rebecca, my fiancée, the woman I'd supported for years, instead of correcting her daughter, instead of defending me, she smirked. Actually smirked. And said, "She's not wrong." They both started laughing. Like it was some inside joke we were all supposed to be in on. Like I was supposed to laugh along at being reduced to nothing but a source of money. I stood up without saying a word and walked to my home office. My hands were shaking when I logged into my banking app, but I knew exactly what I needed to do. First, I canceled Rebecca's supplementary card, then Madison's, removed them both as authorized users on all my accounts, changed every single password. The whole thing took maybe 3 minutes. When I walked back into the living room, they were still on their phones giggling about something. They hadn't even noticed I'd left. "Wallets closed," I said calmly. Rebecca looked up. "What? You heard me. I just canceled both your cards. The monthly allowances stopped today. You want money? Go earn it." You Madison's jaw literally dropped. "You can't do that." "Just did. Check your wallets." Rebecca jumped to her feet. "Are you serious right now? Over a joke?" "Didn't sound like a joke," I said. "Sounded like exactly how you both see me. So congratulations. The wallet is now permanently closed." I went to the guest room that night, locked the door and didn't sleep much. The next morning, I heard Madison screaming about her card being declined at Starbucks. Then Rebecca's voice shrill and demanding, telling me to fix this right now. I didn't engage. I made my coffee, went to my office, and started documenting everything for what I knew would become a legal nightmare. The next few days were absolute chaos. Rebecca tried every manipulation tactic in the book. First came the tears and apologies.
"We were just joking. You're so sensitive."
When that didn't work, she switched to anger, screaming about how I'd trapped her, how she'd given up her independence for me. So I pulled up my records. Madison's enrolled part-time. I told Rebecca, 6 credits this semester. Her tuition is $890 total. I've been sending her $800 monthly plus paying her tuition directly. Where's that money going? Silence. She has expenses, Rebecca finally said. What expenses? I pay her phone, her car insurance, her gas card. What else could she possibly need $800 a month for? More silence. Then she stormed out. Day 2, Madison tried her hand at manipulation. She came to my office door crying. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean it. I was stressed about finals. You don't have finals, I said without looking up from my computer. You're taking 2 classes. I checked with the college. Her face changed instantly. The tears stopped like I'd flipped a switch. You contacted my school. That's a violation of my privacy. I pay the bills. I'm allowed to verify enrollment. I turned to face her. Turns out you've been part-time for 3 semesters while I've been paying for full-time tuition. You've been pocketing the difference. She didn't even try to deny it. Just said, so what? You have plenty of money. I told her she had until the end of the month to find somewhere else to live. Day 3, Rebecca tried showing up in lingerie, attempting to seduce me. When that spectacularly failed, she tried to negotiate. What if we go to counseling, work through this together? There's nothing to work through, I said. You both showed me exactly who you are.
But the wedding's in 8 months.
We've sent deposits. I'll eat those costs. Better than a lifetime of being someone's ATM. Real tears came then. Where am I supposed to go? I can't afford an apartment on $800 a month. That's not my problem anymore. You have until the end of next month. Your daughter has until the end of this month. Day 4, Madison's true colors really came out. She started stealing food from the kitchen, not even to eat it, just taking entire packages and hiding them in her room. She broke a picture frame I'd had for years. She left passive-aggressive notes everywhere and lipstick on mirrors. Thanks for ruining my life. Real mature. I installed locks on both my bedroom door and my office. Then came the phone calls. Rebecca's sister called me screaming. What the hell is wrong with you? I let her rant, then calmly explained everything. The wallet comment, the smirk, the lies about college, all of it. She paused. Okay, that's bad, but you're really going to throw away 4 years over this. I'm not throwing anything away. They showed me the relationship was transactional. I'm just accepting reality. She hung up on me. Here's where it gets really interesting, and honestly, kind of chilling. Rebecca's ex-husband, a guy named Marcus, called me out of the blue and asked if we could meet for coffee. I was suspicious at first. Why would her ex want to talk to me? But curiosity got the better of me. We met the next morning at a coffee shop downtown. Marcus is in his early 50s, remarried. Seems like a genuinely good guy. Normal, stable. And within 5 minutes of sitting down, he told me something that made my blood run cold. She did the same thing to me, Marcus said, stirring his coffee. Sweet at first, attentive, made you feel like you were the center of her world. Then slowly, bit by bit, she became entitled. Her daughter learned it straight from her. By the end of our marriage, I was just a paycheck with legs. I'm glad you figured it out before you actually married her. I sat back in my chair. This is a pattern, like, an actual pattern. Madison's done this with multiple father figures, he said. 3 different ones that I know of after me. Same routine every single time. They move in, get comfortable, start making demands. Then blow up when someone finally calls them out on it. He pulled out his phone and showed me a text message from years ago. It was from Rebecca, demanding he pay for Madison's car insurance even though they'd been divorced for 2 years. She acts like every man who enters her life owes her something. Like it's our job to fund her lifestyle. How long were you married? I asked. 10 years. And I didn't see it coming either. She's good at playing the victim, at making you feel like you're not doing enough. My therapist called it financial manipulation. He leaned forward, his expression dead serious. Listen to me, David. Documenting everything. Every text, every email, every threat. Rebecca's going to try to take you for whatever she can. And she'll turn you into the villain to everyone who will listen. She's probably already started. He was absolutely right. By that afternoon, my phone was exploding with messages. Rebecca's friends, her family members, even people I'd never met were calling me cruel, heartless, financially abusive. One woman left me a voicemail saying I was destroying a family, and that I should be ashamed. So I decided to fight back with the truth. I started forwarding people screenshots of Madison's Venmo history, which I had full access to since I'd set up the account for her. The transactions told a very different story than the one they were spreading. $200 for bottle service at a club, $150 for a spa day, $300 for shopping with friends, another $250 for concert tickets, $500 to someone named Tyler, with a heart emoji in the caption, "You're the best, babe." Wait, Tyler. Who the hell was Tyler? And here's the kicker. While Madison was spending hundreds on partying, and apparently some boyfriend I'd never heard about, she'd been telling everyone on social media that I refused to pay for her education, and that she was struggling to afford textbooks. I sent those screenshots to about a dozen people. The messages stopped pretty quickly after that. But the drama was far from over. Marcus had warned me they wouldn't go down quietly, and he was right. Rebecca's sister called me a few days later, absolutely screaming. How dare you send private financial information to people? That's illegal. Actually, it's not, I said calmly. I'm the account holder. And since your sis-pretting niece are spreading lies about me, I have every right to defend myself with facts. She sputtered for a moment. Well, you're still a heartless bastard for kicking them out. I'm not kicking anyone out. I'm ending a relationship with two people who openly admitted they see me as nothing but a source of money. Your sister has until the end of next month to find a place. That's more than fair. She hung up on me. But 20 minutes later I got a text from Rebecca's mother, someone who'd been sweet to me for 4 years. The text read, I always knew you weren't good enough for my daughter. She deserves better than a controlling, cheap man like you. Cheap. The woman who'd never paid rent in 4 years was calling me cheap. I didn't respond. Just took a screenshot and added it to my growing folder of evidence. Then came the incident with the house key. Rebecca tried to use her key one morning while I was at work. What she didn't know was that I'd changed all the locks 2 days earlier. I came home that afternoon to find her sitting on the front porch with a suitcase next to her, crying dramatically on the phone. He locked me out of my own home. She was wailing to whoever was on the other end. I have nowhere to go. He's thrown me out on the street. I walked up the driveway with my briefcase. She saw me and her eyes went wide. I have to go, she said quickly into the hanging up. I unlocked the door. It's not your home, Rebecca. It's my home. Your name has never been on the deed, the mortgage, or anything else. But you're welcome to come in and get your things. With a police escort if necessary. She stood up, mascara running down her face, and for a moment I almost felt bad. Almost. Then she looked at me with pure, undisguised hatred. You're going to regret this. I promise you, David. You're going to regret ever doing this to me. I already regret something, I said, holding the door open. I regret wasting 4 years of my life. She grabbed her suitcase and shoved past me into the house. I followed her inside and watched as she made a show of throwing things into bags, slamming drawers, muttering under her breath about what a terrible person I was. Before she left, she turned to me one last time. I gave you the best years of my life. You gave me 4 years of lies and entitlement. I'm getting off cheap. She left without another word. But I knew from Marcus's warning that this was far from over. And I was right. Rebecca got herself a lawyer. Some guy who sent me a letter demanding quittable distribution of shared assets, and claiming she had implied tenancy rights. My attorney literally laughed when she read it. This is barely coherent. She has no claim to anything. But the letter demanded $50,000 for pain and suffering, $30,000 for wedding expenses she supposedly incurred. She incurred zero. I paid for everything. Plus continued residence in my home for 6 months. My attorney's response was basically, no, come eat your stuff. That's when the dirty tricks really started. Madison launched a whole social media campaign about financial abuse and narcissistic step-parents. Never used my name but posted enough details that people could figure it out. Her comments flooded with support. I didn't post anything publicly, but I did send receipts to 3 of her friends who were particularly nasty in my DMs. Haven't heard from them since. Rebecca refused to move out. Just flat out refused. Said I'd have to evict her legally. My attorney filed for a restraining order based on her increasingly erratic behavior. We got a temporary order. She had 72 hours to collect her belongings and leave. She showed up with a moving truck, her sister. They tried to take everything. My TV, my couch, my dining table, even my microwave. I had a police officer there supervising. He stopped them. Only her personal belongings, ladies. Rebecca started screaming. I lived here. I decorated. This is half mine. The officer looked at the paperwork. Mom, the house is in his name only. You have no legal claim. This is robbery. He's stealing from me. Mom, calm down or I'll have to ask you to leave immediately. A Madison showed up near the end, took one look at everything and said to me, I hope you die alone. I didn't react. Just watched them take their stuff and leave. PYFACTSV and TF RCS 2030 TWIFUD, and after they left I did a deep dive into the finances. What I found made my blood boil. Rebecca had been taking cash advances on the supplementary card before I canceled it. $5,000 over 6 months. Just cash, no paper trail. Madison had been buying gift cards at grocery stores and reselling them online for cash. About $3,000 worth. They'd been running a side hustle on my dime. I documented everything and forwarded it to my attorney. She said I could press charges for fraud. I'm still considering it. In the end, Rebecca tried to sue me in civil court for unjust enrichment, claiming she deserved $80,000 for 4 years of domestic services. Her lawyer argued she'd been a homemaker who sacrificed her career. My attorney destroyed that argument in about 5 minutes. The judge dismissed the case and ordered Rebecca to pay my legal fees. Her attorney quit right there in the courtroom. Final tally of what this relationship cost me: $72,000 in allowances to Rebecca, $38,000 to Madison, $12,000 in lost wedding deposits, about $8,000 in legal fees, nearly $130,000 over 4 years, all to be called a walking wallet. But you know what? I learned something crucial about myself. I'd been trying to buy love, not consciously, but that's what it was. I thought being generous made me valuable. The right person won't love you more because you spend more on them. 3 weeks ago I got a handwritten letter from Rebecca. 3 pages of apologies, saying she understood why I reacted the way I did, that she'd been wrong, that she was in therapy now. I read it twice. Then I filed it away with all the other documentation. Some things you can't fix with an apology. I'm 46, single, living in a nice house, doing okay. It's not the life I planned, but it's honest. No one's using me, no one's calling me a wallet. And honestly, that's enough. To anyone watching this in a similar situation, trust your gut. When someone shows you they see you as an ATM, believe them the first time. It won't get better. You're not being mean by setting boundaries. You're being sane. The wallet is closed permanently, and I'm better for it. If this story resonated with you, smash that subscribe button for Reddit family stories. Drop a comment telling me what you would have done in my situation. And hit that like button if you believe in standing up for yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.